Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to Bark TV with Britt and Mark.
Yes.
We are here and welcome you all near and far to join us to learn about Maya Angelou today.
Yes. A great writer, poet, civil rights activist, and as we're going to learn in your program, Brittany, so much more.
So many things. She did so much. So Maya Angelou was not born as Maya. She was born Marguerite Johnson, and she was born April 4th, 1928 in St. Louis, Missouri. She grew up in the South during the Jim Crow years. There was a lot of racism and discrimination that she dealt with, and this really formed her life as a civil rights activist. She was very, very connected to her faith, her culture, and her community, as were her parents. But unfortunately, at the age of 3, her brother was 4, just a year older than her. At the age of 3, Maya and her brother were sent to live with their grandmother in Arkansas, Stamps, Arkansas.
Her mother was quite dysfunctional at the time.
At the time,
That would
her
change,
parents divorced when she was 3 and her brother was 4, and as part of that, her parents sent her and her brother alone on a train to Arkansas from Missouri.
At ages 3 and 4.
3 and 4, and they didn't reunite until Maya was 11 years old.
That's incredible.
Her grandma really brought her up in those early years. Interestingly, we know that, as an aside, we know that Maya experienced a lot of trauma in her childhood. She experienced a lot of really horrible things that
Pretty
she worked
significant
through.
abuse.
A lot of abuse from family, etc. And she reunited in her teenage years with her mother, who was living in California at the time. So she moved out to San Francisco to be with her mother. And in that time, she saw a cable car conductor, a streetcar conductor, and said, "I want to do what they do because I like their uniform."
I love that.
So she became the first African-American female streetcar conductor in San Francisco.
And that'd be great if you could just see a wonderful uniform and say, "I'm going to do that."
Yeah,
and then be
she
really good
even
at
won
it.
an award for this job.
Yeah. She didn't just like it, she was amazing at
She
it.
loved it. At the age of 16, when she was still in high school, she gave birth to her son. And her son, Clyde, ended up changing his name to Guy Johnson is what he's known as today. But he ended up being her only child throughout her life. And she struggled through raising him on her own, but always had the support of her mother offered and said, "No, I want to do this on my own and for myself." So
Yeah, I think that's incredible, and I think it'll probably come up in one of the interviews, but the fact that her mother didn't kick her out of the house. She didn't say, "Well, now you have a child, you're on your own." She actually would have been willing to help Maya out, but Maya wanted to not be a burden, to move out and try to do this on her own.
And she did it. And graduating from high school, she won a scholarship to study dance and drama at San Francisco's Labor School. She was very interested in dancing. She was interested in theater. She was a calypso dancer, and that style of dance comes from Trinidad. She appeared on and off Broadway. Her biggest role, her earliest big role, was in Porgy and Bess, which traveled to 22 countries to perform.
Summertime and the living is easy.
Yeah, so she traveled all over, and on her travels, she met a Greek sailor named
As one does.
Tosh Angelos, and the two get married. And in that time, she's in her 20s and 30s and finds that she's unable to have more children. So she just has the one child throughout her life that she had when she was young, and is so grateful for that.
And I think so many people, when they hear the name Maya Angelou, think of her literature, her poetry, and maybe her activism. But I certainly did not know that she had been a fairly successful actress.
Very
I had
successful.
no idea about this part of her life, but it was clearly a significant, role as early on.
And she was in a few, she's popped in here and there in a lot of TV shows and movies throughout the years, including Sesame Street.
That I love.
Which is the highest honor in
She
my
performed
opinion.
in 22 countries.
Yeah.
I think I've eaten foods from about 22 countries.
But not in 22 countries.
No, not yet.
Maybe in your kitchen.
True.
I like this illustration in this quote. It says, "You don't have to think about doing the right thing. If you're for the right thing, then you do it without thinking."
That's
Isn't that true?
I just love the illustration.
I do too. So cheerful. So her real breakout event in her life that kind of got people's attention was...
Into the public spotlight.
In 1970, she published her book, "I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings." I don't know about you, Mark, but I had to read this in high school.
I did. Yeah, I
Maybe
think
some of
that
you
was
did as well.
it was required reading. But, you know, it was one of those pieces of literature that even though it was required reading and you really didn't want to do it, once you began reading it, you were really enthralled. And
it was a success
it
from
was
the
a-
beginning. And it really was her autobiography up until the age of 16. So an African-American girl's coming of age in the 1930s and brought light to a lot of the issues going on in the South in that time.
Yeah, really in many ways just the day-to-day of living in Jim Crow. I think we think of the big events, the landmarks in the civil rights movement. We don't know a lot about just what it was like day to day unless we've experienced it, or in this case, just getting a little taste of it through the novel.
Here's a passage from the book. It says, "The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom." Some of her other works, most all of her novels were autobiographies. "Gather Together in My Name," "Singin' and Swingin' and Gettin' Merry Like Christmas."
It's a great title.
So from the 70s all the way through the 80s, the last book she wrote was a children's book, Kofi and His Magic. But she was writing. She was always writing. And mind you, she didn't have even a bachelor's degree.
Yeah, that's incredible.
But over her lifetime, all of these universities came forward, and she was, by her death, offered 50 honorary degrees.
Yeah, she was referred to sometimes as Dr.
Dr. Maya Angelou.
Angelou.
Yep.
Yeah.
She was
And well earned.
granted that title
Yeah.
honorarily. And then we get to her poetry. She was always writing poetry, even before, during, and after when she was writing her autobiography novels. And it wasn't highly liked at first. It had a really kind of sharp, and the words didn't always blend well together. Her
So
vocabulary wasn't
it was
very
unconventional.
A little bit different.
Yeah.
But very well known for her jazzy rhythms. She had a way of reading her poetry.
Yeah.
She would perform her poetry.
Right, it was a performance. It was almost like a song. I think jazzy rhythms is a great way to put it, and I would say that there was an actual, poetry has a cadence. And yeah, I think her style was almost to read poetry like she was performing jazz music.
And that's how it was felt.
There is a rhythm to her narration, and it pulls you in. You really can't help it. It's lovely.
Absolutely. She won a number of awards and was nominated for even more awards for her poetry. Most notably, she's considered one of the top 100 influential writers in American history.
Pretty incredible.
She was awarded Woman of the Year in 1976, and in 1983 she was listed as a top 100 most influential women.
And I've mentioned this before, Brittany, but I was on that 1983 list as well.
I believe it. You deserve to be there, Mark.
Twice.
Really?
I was on that list twice.
Wow. I mean, I wasn't even on that list, and I'm a woman.
Yeah. No, you're not as, well, I'm special.
Yeah, to say the least. We're going to read a few of our favorite quotes that we selected.
There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside of you. Boy, is that true. And I think that's what a lot of art is. It's emoting.
They've got to get their story out into the world.
Yeah. No matter what kind of art it is. Painting, writing a song, developing a story, a movie. A lot of times, it's their personal experience and their emotions coming out.
If you're always trying to be normal, you will never know how amazing you can be. That's true as well.
Well, I don't even try to be normal, Brittany.
I mean, me neither. I don't know if we can.
It's not possible.
But, man, are we amazing.
Yes, I am. You know, the more normal I try to be, the more strange I come across. So sometimes I just don't try.
Why try?
No. Be a rainbow in someone else's cloud. I like that. I think she might elaborate on that in one of her.
It's one of our
what does that
favorites.
mean to be a rainbow in someone else's cloud? I think we're going to hear Maya's own words on that.
We've all been a rainbow in someone else's cloud, haven't we? Mm-hmm. We've all been there, and we've had rainbows in our cloud.
I like rainbows.
Stand up straight and realize who you are, that you tower over your circumstances.
That's not an easy one. I think people often find themselves feeling buried by their circumstances or pulled down, weighted down by their circumstances. So it's not easy to tower over them.
It's important to realize your strength and what you're made of and persevere.
Right. And this is a poem that she often recites. So if you were to go onto YouTube or other places and look up Maya Angelou and see some video, often you'll see her reciting this poem. It's probably one of her most well-known.
Still I Rise.
Still I Rise. And the way she, with such conviction and such power and such authenticity. So here's just an excerpt. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness. But still, like life, I'll rise. Dr. Maya Angelou, and she's wearing the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which was given to her by President Barack Obama.
I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. This is one of our favorite quotes here at Open Circle. We have it framed on our wall in the hallway.
Yeah. It's very, very true to what we do here and what we experience.
So I mentioned that Maya Angelou received over 50 honorary degrees in her lifetime. And even without holding her own degree through studying and attending a school, she taught in many universities and colleges. Most notably the University of California at both Los Angeles and Sacramento, and the University of Kansas and Wichita State University.
So chalk that up to another
career. Yeah. Writer, civil rights activist, dancer,
conductor,
actor,
streetcar conductor, and educator.
Mother.
Wow.
She also acted in movies and television. She even worked for a while for 20th Century Fox as a writer-producer.
We have to look more into that. We have to look more into that. Well, it's right here. Okay. I was like, what shows? But Sister, Sister, which was a very popular show. I remember watching Sister, Sister.
She acted in a 1982 movie called How Do You Spell God? And an animated children's special for HBO in 1996. And we're going to watch our first video in 2016, 2 years after her death. Documentary was made about her life, and this is the movie trailer, and Still I Rise.
Uses words. The writer has to take these most known things and put them together in such a way that a reader says, I never thought of it that way before. My mother's boyfriend raped me. I was 7. So I stopped speaking. 5 years. In those 5 years, I read every book in the black school library. When I decided to speak, I had a lot to say.
Maya was a dancer. She sang, she was an actress.
I mean, she was a beautiful Giacometti sculpture.
Of course, she was a writer.
When I reached for the pen to write, I have to scrape it across those scars.
Maya was responsible for teaching me why I should know more about my roots. I remember her being very angry. Very angry.
My mother taught me a love of justice, a love of doing what's right.
know why the cage bird sings.
It was a very important literary feat.
Cage Bird was really almost another Bible for me.
It was the opening for me to want to be a writer.
It was the first time I read something that resonated. It touched a very young girlish part of me.
It reflected my own mother's life.
When I read it, I couldn't believe that she was free enough to talk about them.
I read those words and thought, somebody knows who I am.
She was big, and she had the voice of God.
Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling. I bear in the tide, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the hope and the dream of the slave, and so I rise. I rise.
Very good documentary.
Is your head okay there, Brittany?
Just the microphone. I'm okay.
Thought maybe you bumped it on something.
Motherhood.
Oh, yeah.
Maya had a very close relationship with her son, Guy. He's pictured on the bottom right there with his children and grandchildren. And we're going to watch a video that is from an interview. Sorry that I keep bumping the microphone. This is an interview with Guy Johnson, the son of Maya Angelou.
People ask me quite often what it's like to be Maya Angelou's son. Did you grow up in her shadow? And no, I didn't. I grew up in her light. Sometimes I wasn't worthy of it, but it has always been an experience that expanded me. She thinks that the divine hand is in all things. She has faith that's like a rock. You can stand on it. She speaks to our humanity and reminds us that we are both brother and sister to the rest of the human race. Keep on speaking, Ma. We need the lessons, the beautiful poems, books, movies, dances, celebrations, and love.
Mm-hmm.
It's her son, Guy Johnson.
Really like that.
No.
Oh. I didn't stand in her shadow. I stood in her light. I really like that.
Me too.
I'm glad you caught that, Brittany. I almost closed out the program, didn't I?
Mm-hmm. It's okay, Mark.
I'll sit back over here, safely away from the buttons.
In 2011, U.S. President Barack Obama presented Maya Angelou with the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
No, I have 2 of those.
You don't.
Okay.
Good try, though.
Thought you'd buy that. That's.
Keep trying. What an honor to receive a Presidential Medal of Freedom.
I think that's the highest civilian honor.
Mm-hmm. I believe so.
You can receive.
We're going to watch the next video. This is a photo of Maya with her mother. They grew very, very close in her adult life. They reunited when she was a teenager, and they grew very close. And this is a video called Love Liberates.
I am grateful to have been loved and to be loved now and to be able to love, because that liberates. Love liberates. It doesn't just hold. That's ego. Love liberates. When my son was born, I was 17. My mother had a huge house, 14-room house. At 17, I went to her and said, I'm leaving. She asked me, you're leaving my house? And she had live-in help. I said, yes. I found a job, and I've got a room with cooking privileges down the hall, and the landlady will be the babysitter. She asked me, "You're leaving my house?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." "And you're taking the baby?" I said, "Yes." She said, "All right, remember this. When you step over my door sill, you've been raised. You know the difference between right and wrong. Do right. Don't let anybody raise you and make you change. And remember this, you can always come home." I went home every time life slammed me down and made me call it uncle. I went home with my baby. My mother never once acted as I told you so. She said, "Oh, baby's home. Oh, my darling, Mama's going to cook you something. Mother's going to make this for you." Love. She liberated me to life. She continued to do that. When my son had been 5 years old, my mother would pick him up all the time and feed him. And I went to her once a month, and she would cook for me. So one day I went to her house, and she'd cooked red rice, which I loved. After we finished eating, we walked down the hill, and she started across the street. She said, "Wait a minute, baby." I was 22 years old. She said, "Wait a minute, baby. You know, I think you're the greatest woman I've ever met." She said, "Mary McLeod Bethune, Eleanor Roosevelt, and my mother, you're in that category." Then she said, "Give me a kiss." I gave her a kiss, and I got onto the streetcar. I can remember the way the sun fell on the slats of the wooden seats. I sat there and I thought about her. I thought, suppose she's right. She's intelligent. And she says she's too mean to lie. So suppose I am going to be somebody. She released me. She freed me to say I may have something in me that would be of value. Maybe not just to me. See? That's love.
Wonderful.
And when she was in her final sickness.
Yeah. Well, very powerful.
Powerful story. Love liberates.
And it does show how important it is for there to be a parental figure. Whether it is an actual parent or just somebody in your life that believes in you is incredibly important.
Mm-hmm. It helps you go far.
Mm-hmm.
So her legacy, what became of Maya Angelou's things, for example, after she passed, was that her, as stated in her will, her family donated all of her documents and papers to the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture. It's located in Harlem, and that contained more than 340 boxes of documents, including handwritten notes that she had scribbled on throughout her writing processes, fan mail from fans, personal and professional correspondences, and a telegram from Coretta Scott King that she received in 1982.
Wow.
The wife of Martin Luther King Jr.
And an activist in her own right. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm convinced of this. Good done anywhere is good done everywhere. For a change, start by speaking to people rather by them, like
rather
they
than walking by them.
Oh, rather than walking by them as if they don't matter. As long as you're breathing, it's never too late to do some good. Not wearing my glasses, yes.
It's beautiful.
But very true. It's true. I really love that part, you know. Try speaking to people rather than walking past them as if they don't matter. Mm-hmm. Again, I think these are...
In 2011, the Dr. Maya Angelou Foundation was founded by Maya Angelou. Granted, this is just 3 years before her death, and she wanted to leave behind a legacy where she could help students attending historically Black colleges and universities to get a college education.
So once again, being a rainbow in someone's cloud.
Absolutely. She wanted to have this serve as her legacy and lifelong mission to support educational excellence and healthcare equity initiatives for all.
Ooh.
To date, over 30 colleges, they're known as HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities, have been awarded nearly $380,000 in scholarships for several worthy students.
What a great legacy.
And we're going to end with this video of Maya Angelou explaining her poem, Be a Rainbow in Someone Else's Cloud.
There's an African-American song, 19th century, which is so great. It says, when it looked like the sun wasn't gonna shine anymore, God put a rainbow in the clouds. Imagine. And I've had so many rainbows in my clouds. I had a lot of clouds. But I have had so many rainbows. And one of the things I do when I step up on a stage, when I stand up to translate, when I go to teach my classes, when I go to direct a movie, I bring everyone who has ever been kind to me with me. Black, white, Asian, Spanish-speaking, Native American, gay, straight, everybody. I say, come with me. I'm going on the stage. Come with me, I need you now. Long dead. You see? So I don't ever feel I have no help. I've had rainbows in my clouds. And the thing to do, it seems to me, is to prepare yourself so that you can be a rainbow in somebody else's cloud. Somebody who may not look like you, may not call God the same name you call God, if they call God at all. You see? I may not eat the same dishes prepared the way you do, may not dance your dances, or speak your language, but be a blessing to somebody. That's what I think.
So with that, we invite you to be a rainbow in someone's cloud, make someone's day.
I think every time I walk into a room, Brittany, I am a rainbow in everyone's cloud in that room.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I don't think there's any clouds. When I walk into a room, my presence just...
The clouds part.
They part. The clouds part, and I'm like a beam of rainbowness. I'm just like
Rainbowness.
Rainbowness. It's a PhD word. It's okay. You don't have to,
It's above my head.
It's above.
Okay.
It's okay.
With that, we want to thank all of you for joining us. Thank you, everyone, for all of our friends from Open Circle. We miss you and hope you enjoyed this program.
I know I did.
I'm Mark Rosen.
And I'm Brittany Harris, signing off.